Dear students, welcome back to online classes. I am Rupaksh BP. In last video, we were discussing about solubility. What is the solubility? At a given temperature, the maximum amount of solute that can dissolve in a given amount of solvent is called solubility. Here, solubility depends on three factors. The first one is the nature of solute and solvent. The second one is temperature. The third one is pressure. And also in last class we were discussing about what is crystallization, what is dissolution, what is saturated solution, and what is unsaturated solution. In today's video we are going to discuss about factors affecting on solubility of solid in liquid, solubility of gas in liquid. Here first let us discuss about the factors affecting on solubility of solid in liquid. Solubility of solid in liquid. Here the solubility of solid in liquid also depends on three factors. The first one is nature of solute and solvent. The second one is temperature. The third one is pressure. First let us discuss about nature of solute and solvent. Nature of solute and solvent. Here the nature of solute and solvent it follows basic rule. Now let us discuss what is the basic rule to select a solute and a solvent. Here according to the basic rule, polar solutes dissolve in polar solvents, non-polar solutes dissolve in non-polar solvents. Polar solutes dissolve in polar solvents, and here non-polar solutes dissolve in non-polar solvents. Here, why polar solutes dissolve in polar solvents and why non-polar solutes dissolve in non-polar solvents? Here it is due to strong interparticle attraction. Here between polar solutes and polar solvents there is a strong interparticle attraction. That's why polar solutes are more soluble in polar solvents. Here also between non-polar solutes and non-polar solvents there is a strong interparticle attraction. That's why non-polar solutes they dissolve in non-polar solvents. Here between polar solutes and non-polar solvents there is a less interparticle attraction. Here it is due to strong interparticle attraction. Okay, now let us discuss examples here. Example 1. Let us consider sodium chloride and potassium nitrate. Here, these two substances are readily soluble in water. They are readily soluble in water. And these same substances are less soluble in organic solvents. Less soluble in organic solvents like benzene. Here, why these substances are more soluble in water? Why they are less soluble in water? Why? Because these substances are polar substances. These are polar solutes. And here, the water is what? It is a polar solvent. It is a polar solvent. And here, benzene is what? The benzene is a non-polar solvent. Non-polar solvent. Here between polar solute and non-polar solvent there is a less interparticle attraction. That's why polar solutes are very less soluble in organic solvents like benzene. But here Water is what? Polar solvent. That's why here between polar solute and polar solvent there is a strong interparticle attraction. That's why these substances are more soluble in water. They are less soluble in benzene. Next, let us consider second example here. Let us consider naphthalene and anthracene. Here, these two substances are readily soluble in organic solvents like benzene. They are readily soluble in benzene. These same substances are less soluble in water. They are less soluble in water. Why these substances are less soluble in water? Because these substances are what? These are non-polar substances. Here, between non-polar substances and water is what? Polar substance. There is a less interparticle attraction. That's why they are less soluble. But between non-polar and non-polar solvent, there is a strong interparticle attraction. That's why they are more soluble in organic solvents like benzene. This is the effect of nature of solute and solvent on solubility of solid in liquid. Next, let us discuss about effect of temperature on solubility of solid in liquid. Effect of temperature. Here, the effect of temperature on solubility of solid in liquid is explained according to the Le Chatelier's principle. Here, the solubility of solid in liquid is affected by temperature according to the Le Chatelier's principle. Here, the dissolution of solid in liquid is exothermic or it may be endothermic. Here, dissolution of solid in liquid may be exothermic or it may be endothermic. Exothermic or endothermic. Now let us discuss the effect of temperature on solubility of solid in liquid. Here the solubility of solid in liquid is what? It may be exothermic or it may be endothermic. Now let us discuss first condition here. Here if dissolution of solid in liquid, if it is exothermic, if dissolution process is exothermic means here delta H is what? Negative. Delta H value is negative. Then here the solubility is inversely proportional to temperature. That means here as temperature increases, the solubility of solid in liquid decreases when the process is exothermic. Next, the second condition, if dissolution process is endothermic. Endothermic means here delta H value is what? Positive. Then here the solubility is directly proportional to temperature. That means as temperature increases, solubility of solid in liquid also increases. Next, let us discuss about effect of pressure on solubility of solid in liquid. The third one, effect of pressure. Here, pressure does not have any significant effect on solubility of solid in liquid. Why? Because here the solids are what? They are incompressible nature. They are incompressible in nature. That's why there is no effect of pressure on solubility of solid in liquid. Here I will write, pressure does not have significant effect on solubility of solid in liquid. Because solids are incompressible. Okay. These are the factors affecting on solubility of solid in liquid. Next, let us discuss about factors affecting on solubility of gas in liquid. Solubility of gas in liquid. Here also, solubility of gas in liquid depends on three factors. The first one is the nature of gas, the second one is the temperature, the third one is the pressure. First, let us discuss about nature of gas. Nature of gas. Here, nature of gas, it follows a basic rule. Here, what is the basic rule? Polar gases, they are soluble in polar solvents. Similarly, non-polar gases are soluble in non-polar solvents. Non-polar gases are soluble in non-polar solvents. Here, why polar gases are soluble in polar solvents and why non-polar gases are soluble in non-polar solvents? Here it is due to strong interparticle attraction. For this, let us consider example. Here let us consider ammonia, sulfur dioxide and hydrochloric gas. Here these three gases are readily soluble in water. They are readily soluble in water. Why these gases are readily soluble in water? Why? Because these three gases are polar gases. And here the water is what? Polar solvent. This is a polar solvent. Here there is a strong interparticle attraction. That's why the polar gases are readily soluble in polar solvents like water. Next, let us consider O2, N2 and H2 gases. These three gases are less soluble in water. Here water is what? Polar solvent. But here the given gases are not polar gases. These are non-polar gases. Here there is a weak interparticle attraction between non-polar gases and polar solvents. That's why oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen gases are less soluble in water. This is the nature of gas. Next, let us discuss about the effect of temperature on solubility of gas in liquid. Effect of temperature. Here, effect of temperature on solubility of gas in liquid is also explained by Le-Chatelier's principle. Here, the dissolution of gas in liquid is an exothermic process. Dissolution of gas in liquid is exothermic. exothermic. Exothermic means here delta H value is what? Negative. When the process is exothermic, then here the solubility is inversely proportional to the temperature. So here solubility of gas is inversely proportional to temperature. Here as temperature increases, then solubility decreases. Solubility of gas in liquid decreases. Okay, this is the effect of temperature on solubility of gas in liquid. Next, let us discuss about effect of pressure. Here, the third one is the effect of pressure. Here, we are discussing about the solubility of gases in liquid. Here, gases are water, they are compressible now. So, there is an effect of pressure on solubility of gas in liquid. Here, the gases are compressible. So, there is an effect of pressure on solubility of gas in liquid. But in the case of solubility of solid in liquid, solids are what? Incompressible. That's why there is no effect of pressure on solubility of solid in liquid. But here we are discussing about gases. Gases are what? Compressible. So there is the effect of pressure. Here effect of pressure on solubility of gas in liquid is explained by Henry's law. It is explained by Henry's law. Now let us discuss about Henry's law. What is Henry's law? Here, according to the Henry's law, at a given temperature, the solubility of gas in liquid is directly proportional to mole fraction of gas above the solution. Here, according to the Henry's law, at a given temperature, the solubility of gas in liquid is directly proportional to partial pressure, not total pressure, partial pressure of gas above the solution. Here, according to the Henry's law, the solubility of gas in liquid is depends on what? It depends on partial pressure. It depends on partial pressure of gas above the solution. Here, for example, let us consider two gases in a liquid. Here, this is a liquid. Here, I will consider oxygen and nitrogen. Now tell me, between these two gases, which gas will dissolve more, oxygen or nitrogen? Here the solubility of gas in liquid is directly proportional to what? It directly proportional to partial pressure of gas above the solution. It depends on partial pressure of gases. Here for example, let us consider partial pressure of oxygen is 5 atm and here partial pressure of nitrogen is 1 atm. Now we can easily predict which gas will dissolve more in the given liquid. Here, why? Because here the solubility of gases in liquid is depends on partial pressure of gas, not it depends on total pressure. It depends on partial pressure. Here the partial pressure of oxygen is 5 atm, the partial pressure of nitrogen is 1 atm. Now tell me which gas will dissolve more in the given liquid. Here oxygen will dissolve more in the liquid. Why? Because here the partial pressure is more. The partial pressure is more as compared to partial pressure of nitrogen. Now let us write mathematical expression for Henry's law. Here according to the Henry's law, the solubility of gas in liquid is directly proportional to partial pressure of gas. Partial pressure of gas is directly proportional to solubility. That means water. partial pressure increases. As partial pressure increases, solubility increases. Here between these two, here so partial pressure of oxygen is greater than partial pressure of nitrogen. That's why the solubility of oxygen is more as compared to solubility of nitrogen. Here, if solubility of gas is expressed in terms of mole fraction, if it is expressed in terms of mole fraction, then here Endres has given one more statement. Here I will write another statement, and this statement is more common. You just practice this statement here. Here, according to the second statement, here I will write the partial pressure. The partial pressure of a gas, the partial pressure of gas above the solution, is directly proportional to mole fraction of gas in the solution. This is the second statement of Endres. Okay, according to the second statement, the partial pressure of gas above the solution. Here, the partial pressure of gas it is directly proportional to mole fraction of gas in the solution. Okay, now let us write a mathematical expression here. The partial pressure of gas is directly proportional to mole fraction of gas. Mole fraction of gas. Now just rearrange this equation. Partial pressure of gas is equal to Kh into mole fraction of gas. This is the mathematical expression for Endres law. Here, what is the Kh? Kh is Endres constant. Here I will write what is for P gas. What is P gas? P gas means partial pressure of gas above the solution. Partial pressure of gas above the solution. Next, let us discuss about X gas. X gas means what? Mole fraction. Mole fraction of gas in the solution. Mole fraction of gas. Mole fraction of gas in the solution. Next, here what is the Kh? Here Kh means Endres constant. Endres constant. Here Kh value is not universal constant. Here the Kh is not a universal constant. Different gases have different Kh values. Here Kh values depends on temperature. Here I will write Kh depends on temperature and the nature of gas. Temperature and the nature of gas, because different gases have different Kh value. There is no universal constant. Nature of gas. Now let us rearrange this equation. Here Kh is equal to partial pressure of gas divided by mole fraction of gas. Here Kh value is inversely proportional to mole fraction. That's why at constant pressure, if temperature increases, Kh value depends on temperature, so Kh values also increases. If temperature increases, then Kh values also increases. If Kh values increases, then what about the mole fraction of gas? The mole fraction of gas decreases. If mole fraction of gas decreases, then what about the solubility of gas? If mole fraction of gas decreases, then solubility of gas also decreases. Solubility decreases. Okay. At constant pressure, the Kh value is inversely proportional to solubility. As Kh value increases, solubility decreases. Here I will write KH is inversely proportional to solubility. Okay, now let us discuss about graph of partial pressure of gas and mole fraction of gas. The graph between partial pressure of gas versus mole fraction of gas. Here, according to the Henry's law, second statement, the partial pressure of gas is directly proportional to mole fraction of gas. Now tell me, then which type of curves you will get by just plotting a graph between partial pressure of gas versus mole fraction of gas. Definitely you will get straight lines. Now let us write equation here. Partial pressure of gas is equal to KH into mole fraction of gas. Here this equation is similar to y is equal to m into x. Here partial pressure of gas you take on y axis, and here the mole fraction of gas you take on x axis. Here KH is what? This is the slope. This is the slope. Here I will write. Let us consider partial pressure of gas on y axis. Next mole fraction of gas on x axis. Then it gives a straight line. Here the slope is KH. Here KH is equal to what? The KH is equal to partial pressure of gas divided by mole fraction of gas. Here I will write sentence here. The graph of partial pressure of gas versus mole fraction of gas gives a straight line. Okay, this is the graph of partial pressure of gas versus partial mole fraction of gas. Next, let us discuss about applications of Henry's law. Applications of Henry's law. Here, the first application is it is used in preparation of carbonated beverages. It is used in preparation of carbonated beverages. Here, in the preparation of carbonated beverages, they follow Henry's law. Here, in the preparation of carbonated beverages, to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in soda water, the containers are sealed under high pressure. Here, to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide, in soda water, the containers are sealed under high pressure. Here say, to increase the solubility, they increase pressure. This is called Henry's law. According to the Henry's law, solubility of gas is directly proportional to partial pressure. Here, to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in soda water, the containers are sealed under high pressure. This is in the preparation of carbonated beverages. This is the first application. Next, let us discuss about second application. Here, it is used by scuba divers for respiration. It is used by scuba divers for respiration. Here, now let us understand this application here. Now let us consider surface level. This is the surface level. And next, this is the water. Here, as compared to surface level, in the deep sea there is a high pressure. In the deep sea there is a high pressure. Here on surface level there is a low pressure. Low pressure. Now let us consider scuba diver. Here, when he enters into the deep sea, here due to high pressure, the solubility of nitrogen gas in the blood increases. Again, when he come back to the surface level, here due to low pressure, the dissolved nitrogen gas releases in the formation of bubbles in the blood tissues. This blocks capillary and it causes to bends, which are more painful and they are dangerous to life. Here, to avoid bends, here the scuba divers use oxygen which is diluted with helium. Why they use the oxygen which is diluted with helium? Because here the helium is least soluble gas. That's why they use oxygen which is diluted with helium. Now I will write in the sentence here. Has a scuba diver go down in the sea. Here what happens? Pressure increases under the water. Pressure increases under the water. Here, as the pressure increases, solubility increases. Why? Because according to the English law, the solubility is directly proportional to the pressure. Here, the increased pressure increases solubility of nitrogen gas in blood. Here again, when scuba diver come back to the surface level, here due to low pressure, here the dissolved nitrogen gas it comes outside in the formation of bubbles in the blood tissues. This blocks capillary and it causes to bends. Here when scuba divers come back to surface level, here due to low pressure, here the dissolved gases releases in the formation of bubbles of nitrogen in blood tissues. Here this blocks capillaries. And creates a medical condition that is known as the bend, and creates a medical condition is known as bends. These bends are very painful and dangerous to life, which are painful and dangerous to life. Here to control or to avoid bends, here the scuba divers they use oxygen which is diluted with helium. Here I will write to avoid bends, scuba diver use oxygen diluted with helium. Okay, this is the second application. Next, let us discuss about third application. Here, the third application is it is used by mountain climbers. Mountain climbers. It is used by mountain climbers. Climbers for respiration. Respiration. Now, to understand this application, let us consider mountain here. Here, this is the ground level. This is the ground level, and this is the high altitude. At high altitudes, as compared to ground level, there is a less pressure of gas. There is a less pressure. Here, there is a more partial pressure. There is a more partial pressure of oxygen. But at high altitudes, there is a less partial pressure of oxygen. Here, there is a less partial pressure of oxygen. Here, due to less partial pressure of oxygen, there is a less concentration of oxygen in the blood and tissues. This causes the climbers to become weak, and it makes unable to think clearly. This symptom is called anoxia. This symptom is called anoxia. Okay, here I will write in the sentence here. Here, at high altitudes, the partial pressure of oxygen is less. The partial pressure of oxygen is less. Here, due to less partial pressure, the solubility of oxygen in the blood or tissues decreases. When the solubility of oxygen in the blood decreases, then the climbers they suffer from anoxia. What is the meaning of anoxia? Anoxia means weak, or it is unable to think clearly. Here, the partial pressure of oxygen is less. That's why here low concentration of oxygen in blood causes climber to become weak, and unable to think clearly. This symptom is called anoxia. This symptom is called anoxia. Okay, these are the applications of Henry's law. Next, let us solve some numericals based on Henry's law. In the first question, in this question, hydrogen sulfide is a toxic gas with rotten egg smell, and it is used for the qualitative analysis. Here, if the solubility of hydrogen sulfide in water at STP is 0.195 molarity. Here small m is given, that means molarity. Then calculate KH value. KH means what? Henry's constant. Here, to solve this question, first let us write the given data. Here in the question he mentioned 0.195 molarity of solubility. Solubility of hydrogen sulfide in water is equal to 0.195 molarity. Now tell me, what is the meaning of 0.195 molarity of solution of hydrogen sulfide in water? That means 0.195 moles of hydrogen sulfide is dissolved in how many grams of solvent? 1000 grams or 1 kg of solvent. Here I will write according to this one 0.195 moles. 0.195 moles of hydrogen sulfide is dissolved in how many grams of solvent here? 1000 grams. 1000 grams of water. Here solvent is what? Water. 1000 grams of water. Now here mass of water is given. Now let us calculate the number of moles of water. Here the number of moles of water is equal to the given mass divided by molar mass. The given mass is 1000 grams. Then here what is the molar mass of water here? 18 grams. Just you divide these two. If you divide these two, you will get 55.55 mole. This is the number of moles of water. And here number of moles of hydrogen sulfide is given in the question. Here the number of moles of hydrogen sulfide is equal to 0.195 moles. Now he is asking to calculate KH. What is the KH here? We know that according to the Henry's law, the partial pressure of gas is equal to the product of KH into mole fraction of gas. Here, what is the gas here? Hydrogen sulfide. Here now let us write the formula. Pressure of gas is equal to KH into mole fraction of gas. This is the formula. Now we need to calculate KH. So just you rearrange this equation. KH is equal to partial pressure of gas divided by mole fraction of gas. This is the formula. Now the partial pressure of gas is given. He mentioned at STP condition. At STP condition means what? At STP condition, the pressure of gas is almost equal to 1 atm, or exactly it is equal to 0.98 atmosphere, or it is equal to 1 bar or 1 atm. Now pressure of gas is given. Next we have to calculate mole fraction of gas. Now tell me, what is the formula to calculate mole fraction of gas here? The mole fraction of hydrogen sulfide is equal to number of moles of hydrogen sulfide divided by total number of moles. Total number of moles means here you have to add number of moles of water and number of moles of hydrogen sulfide. Number of moles of hydrogen sulfide plus the number of moles of water. Now just you substitute these values. What is the number of moles of hydrogen sulfide? 0.195 divided by 0.195 plus what is the number of moles of water he has given? 55.55 mole. Just you solve this one. If you solve this one, you nearly will get 0.00349 moles. There is no unit for mole fraction. This is the mole fraction. Now you substitute pressure of gas and mole fraction of gas in KH. Here the KH is equal to pressure of gas divided by mole fraction of gas. Here the pressure of gas is what? 0.98 divided by mole fraction of gas. What is the mole fraction of gas? 0.00349. Here if you divide these two values, how much you will get? If you divide these two values, you will get 282.16 bar. Okay, this is the KH value, Henry's constant value. Next let us solve second numerical. In second numerical, Henry's law constant for carbon dioxide in water is 1.67 into 10 power 8 Pascal at 298 Kelvin temperature. Then calculate the quantity of carbon dioxide in 500 ml of soda water when packed under 2.5 atm carbon dioxide pressure at 298 Kelvin temperature. Here to solve this question, first let us write the given data. Here in this question, the KH value of carbon dioxide is given. What is the KH value of carbon dioxide? 1.67 into 10 power 8 Pascal. The KH is equal to 1.67 into 10 power 8 Pascal. Next, Here the pressure of carbon dioxide is also given. The pressure of carbon dioxide is equal to 2.5 atm. Here now let us convert pressure of carbon dioxide in terms of Pascal. Why? Because here the Kh value is given in terms of Pascal. So here 2.5 into 1 atm is equal to how many pascals? 1.01 into 10 power 5 pascals. So here 1.01, that means almost it is nearly equal to 1. So 2.5 into 10 power 5 pascal. Okay, this is the pressure of carbon dioxide given in the question. Next here, the volume of soda water is also given. The volume of soda water is what? 500 ml. The volume of soda water is equal to 500 ml. Here, what you have to calculate here? You need to calculate quantity of carbon dioxide. Quantity of carbon dioxide. This is the question mark. Now, let us write equation according to the Henry's law. Here, according to the Henry's law, the partial pressure of gas is equal to the product of Kh into mole fraction of gas. Here mole fraction of gas means mole fraction of carbon dioxide gas. Here because the gas is what? Carbon dioxide. Now here the pressure of carbon dioxide is given. Next Kh value is given. We need to calculate mole fraction of carbon dioxide. The mole fraction of carbon dioxide is equal to pressure of carbon dioxide gas divided by Kh. Here the pressure of carbon dioxide is given. The pressure of carbon dioxide is what? 2.5 into 10 power 5 pascal. Now divide by, what is the Kh value here? The Kh value is 1.67 into 10 power 8 pascal. Now you just divide these two values. If we divide these two values, you will get 0.0015 This is the mole fraction of carbon dioxide. Next, let us write a formula to calculate mole fraction of carbon dioxide. Here, what is the formula to calculate mole fraction of carbon dioxide? The mole fraction of carbon dioxide is equal to number of moles of carbon dioxide divided by total number of moles. Here, in soda water, how many components are there? Two components. One is carbon dioxide, the another one is what? Water. Now let us write number of moles of carbon dioxide divided by total number of moles. That means we have to add number of moles of carbon dioxide plus number of moles of water. Here, let us consider here, compared to number of moles of water, the number of moles of carbon dioxide is very less. That's why we just neglect this value. Next, let us write here mole fraction of carbon dioxide is equal to number of moles of carbon dioxide divided by number of moles of water. Here we know mole fraction of carbon dioxide, and you have to calculate number of moles of carbon dioxide. Next, to calculate number of moles of carbon dioxide, you should know number of moles of water. Here volume of soda water is given. By using volume of soda water, we can easily calculate number of moles of water. Here, now first let us write what is the mass of water. Here, the mass of water is equal to 500 gram. So why mass of water is equal to 500 gram? Because here volume of soda water is given. And here, what is the density of water? The density of water is 1 gram per milliliter. Just by using density formula, density is equal to mass by volume. If you use that formula, we will get mass of water. The mass of water is equal to 500 grams. Now you calculate number of moles of water. Number of moles of water is equal to given mass divided by molar mass. Just you divide these two values. If you divide these two values, you will get nearly 27.78 moles. This is the number of moles of water. Now we know mole fraction of carbon dioxide and we have calculated number of moles of water. Then we can easily calculate number of moles of carbon dioxide. Just you substitute these values here and you just rearrange this equation. Here I will write number of moles of carbon dioxide is equal to mole fraction of carbon dioxide into number of moles of water. Here you substitute the values. Here what is the mole fraction of carbon dioxide? 0.00152. 0.00152 into 27.78. If you solve this one, you solve these two. If you multiply these two, then you will get 0.052 mole. This is the number of moles of carbon dioxide. But he is asking to calculate quantity. That means you have to convert them into grams. Here, now tell me what is the formula to convert number of moles into grams, into mass. We know that what is the formula of moles? What is the formula to calculate number of moles? Number of moles is equal to mass, given mass divided by molar mass. Here number of moles is calculated and molar mass of carbon dioxide we know. What is the molar mass of carbon dioxide here? Carbon is what? 12 plus 32, 44. Then we can easily calculate the quantity of carbon dioxide. The M is equal to N into M. Here N means what? 0.042 into molecular mass. M means what? Molecular mass of carbon dioxide. What is the molecular mass of carbon dioxide? 44 gram. This is next gram per mole. This is what? Mole. Here mole get cancelled. Then finally we will get in grams. Just you multiply these two, we will get nearly 1.848 gram. This is the quantity of carbon dioxide present in the 500 ml of soda water. We will continue in next class. Thank you.